Welcome to another exciting episode of the Show. We are two geeks who talk about everything. My name is Aaron, and I'm joined once again by my cousin and co-host Landon.
Good day and glad to be back.
Dude, we thought we lost you, man. Andy last week was like, he thought for sure he was like interviewing for your replacement. I was like, well, we'll have to get back to you on that. I don't know if Landon's gonna be back before Christmas or not. We'll see.
Luckily back. I had travel and work and shows, and I got to go on a cruise actually for work, which was crazy. I was a guest speaker for a cruise and I get to take that off the bucket list. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
You know where my work sends me?
To get a sandwich.
No. I mean, if I'm paying for it, yeah. They're sending me to volunteer at the Ronald McDonald House. So
That is actually far more noble and accomplishing than going on a cruise is. So
yeah, I'm gonna tell myself that. Um, the cruise is
yeah,
probably more
my
fun
greatest
though, I'm
accomplishment on
guessing.
the cruise was there was like a drink list of like drink beverages, and I went through the list. I wanted to try them
Attaboy.
all. So I accomplished.
There you go. Nice to have a bucket list
That's
when you go
right.
on these trips.
That's right.
All right. So we are as of the not the recording of this episode, but the airing of this episode, less than a week away from Christmas.
Boom.
And so we have got this episode and the one that's going to hit Saturday. We're going to spend some time talking about a couple of our favorite Christmas movies, if that's all right with everybody. Actually, even if it's not all right with everybody, that's what we're doing
We're still gonna
today.
do it.
We are hitting up a classic
Mm.
rom com Christmas movie, Love Actually.
Mm.
Now, this is a movie that I'll be honest. The first time I saw it, I didn't care for it. I really didn't.
Really?
Oh, really? No, no. Well, part of it, part of it was the company I was with when I went and saw it.
Oh, okay.
I saw it with this girl who like I really had a crush on, and she had put me in the friend zone like years ago. And
Blast.
so like, but she was the kind of girl who would like keep me on the hook because I made her feel good about herself.
Mm.
And
Mm.
so when I finally got to the point where I was like, I'm not gonna deal with that anymore. I
Yep.
just I so anything that I did with her kind of had a bad taste in my mouth. But
Yes.
you know what? Love Actually transcends that because it's an excellent movie. Now,
Amazing.
I will say when we
Amazing
get
movie.
into talking about some of the plot points, there are a couple in there that really piss me off.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I will say it overall, it is a fantastic movie. I have my favorite kind of scenarios that are in there. And I have a couple that, like I said, really make me angry.
Yeah.
But overall, this heartwarming ensemble piece, it's directed by Richard Curtis, came out in 2003, so it's 20 years old now, and just all-star cast of British actors. So, Landon, tell me what your initial thoughts are with. I've already shared mine with Love Actually, so let me have it.
Yeah. So for me, I think when I first saw it, and this was just my wife and I are 20 years married, and so this was something that we saw right away, and we both loved it. So it was something that where there were actors in it for a rom-com stance that she has always loved and cared about, and then there's people in it that I cared about that it was completely different. It was like, having Alan Rickman in it or having Colin Firth in it or having Hugh Grant in it. I'm looking at all these people that are in this movie and I'm like, well, sure, yeah, I'd like to go see that. And then we watched it and it was just such a blend of not only comedy but love and reality and sad situations, holidays, loss. I mean, there were so many like all-encompassing elements to this movie of different people that ultimately ended up all being connected as if it was sort of like watching Lost or something. And it was just like perfect. I mean, we love it. We watch it every year. It is like a tradition for Daffy and I.
Yeah, it's turned into one I like to watch every year, even though I don't have a special somebody to watch it with. It's still it's a very heartwarming movie.
Mm.
And if I could edit out the parts that I don't like, I would. But at the same time, it's part of what makes it, I guess, charming. Is
That's
it?
true. There are parts that I truly don't enjoy. I'm not a Laura Linney fan, even though the roles that she has played she's been perfect for. Like who she was in Truman Show, who she was in Ozark, who she is in this movie. Very much she played the role. So not trying to diminish the acting value of Laura Linney, just my personal. I don't enjoy the characters that she ever plays. That person she always plays is
That just
not
means
my
she's
kind of
good.
person.
That means she's good at playing her role,
She could be like very much not that person in real life, but
right?
she is really good at playing that person that I it's like a Karen role, just she
I will
just
say I like her in this, and I feel sorry for her in this movie.
sure.
Um, her character that will, again, we'll get into the plot and everything with these different scenarios. Um, but you mentioned the Truman Show. I think her character was designed to be unlikable from the
Yeah.
start.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, it's very easy to dislike her. But I'm the same way with Parker Posey. Like I feel like she plays the same
Same.
dislikable character in just
Same.
about everything she's in.
Yep.
And it's like there
Particular.
is nothing that makes me like Parker Posey in
No.
anything she does.
I saw
And
her
maybe
in
that's a
Lost in
testament to her movie.
Space. I saw her in Lost in Space and I was like, yep, yep, that's her. But so another cool thing about Love Actually is I think about Andrew Lincoln. This is pre-Walking Dead. I think about Martin Freeman, and this is
Yeah.
pre. Uh, well,
Pre The
I don't
Office.
know if it's pre-Office for him. Was it pre-Office for him, or was it?
It, I
It
think
may
it's
not
around
have been pre-Office,
I think it's around the same time as The Office.
but it was definitely Hobbit. It was definitely pre
Pre Sherlock.
Sherlock. It was
Yeah.
definitely pre Marvel. And he has exploded as an actor. Andrew Lincoln,
Mhm.
although he has not done an insane amount of movies, his investment in the Walking Dead series has made him notable and known in every home that enjoys entertainment.
Oh
And
my
so
gosh, they really age him up in The Walking Dead because he looks like a baby in this movie.
doesn't he? Oh man. But there's and I don't know as far as other people goes, I don't know if there's other ones that are on there that I didn't already know before or that had anything after, but those are the two that stick out for me.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it really is interesting how the movie weaves together these 10 different love stories,
Oh,
and they're all
10.
unfolding in the weeks leading up to Christmas. What are your thoughts on how these various stories interconnect? I was looking at a thing today that had like a almost like a flow chart of
Oh
who's
yeah.
related to who and how they relate to each other. Are they friends? Are they family? Are
Yeah.
they love interest? That kind of thing. It was really interesting. The only two that don't connect with anybody else in the movie is Billy and his manager. Uh,
Oh, that's true. They are
yeah,
completely distinct from
but
anyone
but you hear his song on TV or the radio.
everywhere. And so they're
Yeah,
connected that way. And was very important for Liam Neeson's. Oh, that would be one. The little boy, he actually ended up doing other movies as well, and stuff like
right.
he was
Yeah,
in Game of Thrones. A small role, but yeah, so the interconnectedness of it I thought was really cool, but not like plot intensive or sensitive. It was probably the one that connected that mattered would have been Emma Thompson and Hugh Grant. By the way, it was interesting the different Harry Potter characters that were in the movie, but but still like that was an important scene because she obviously had just found out that Alan Rickman was going for the secretary, and so she was heartbroken, and then he it was the venue by which he was there for his girl and so she's there, and that was an important connection. But I really can't think of any other ones where I thought to myself, it was plot changing or plot important. It was just kind of cool. Or am I missing any of them that would be otherwise? I mean, maybe the all-knowing Mr. Bean, but I don't know.
Interesting. When I was looking up information about the movie originally, when they were writing his character, Mr. or Rowan Atkinson's character, he was supposed to be a Christmas angel
Yeah,
who was like kind of manipulating events to turn out the way they're supposed to.
Christmas Cupid, you
Yeah.
know?
But they wound up scrapping that idea, which I guess is okay. But it makes sense now that when you think about where he shows up in the movie
Yeah,
and what his role is.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, the connected tissues there, you don't really think about this stay-at-home wife and mother in Emma Thompson being the sister of the prime minister
right.
of Great Britain. um, and I wasn't sure about what the relationship was between her and Liam Neeson because they're on the phone, at the beginning, but they're just good
I think they're
friends.
just friends. Yeah, yeah, they're just friends. And that was an
So
interesting. That's something that's always gotten me has been Liam Neeson because his wife Natasha Richardson had died. I'm assuming around this time, or
it was
um,
it wasn't long after
it
this
was
that
after
she
it. Yeah.
passed away. Yeah, and so like in real life, he went through this very same thing, of having to become a widower, and he experienced it in this role that he played, and then had to experience in real life. I'm sure it was heartbreaking for him.
There are a few things in this movie that were a little raw. You know what I mean? First of all, of course, you had the nudity, which was a funny thing because it wasn't like meant to be grotesquely sexual as much as it was like funny. The two actors, they're sitting there doing lighting stand-ins, I mean, for
Man,
this, I
traffic
guess
today
what's
was just
going to be a
awful.
porno. But they're like the nicest people and they're the shyest people. And so it's like the last people in the world you'd expect to be doing that. And they have the cutest, most innocent relationship together.
And then while they're doing it too, they're just talking about the most like day-to-day things. Like traffic was awful this morning coming over here.
The funny thing for me is when he warms his hands up, he's like,
Yeah.
is that okay? You know?
And she's like,
Oh,
"Thank you for doing that."
yeah. But yeah, and then there were some things like Liam Neeson's relationship and connecting with his stepson was interesting because it was so like not fatherly. Like he would say things to him. He called him like a wee motherless. I mean, they're just the things they'd say to each other, or him having a relationship with Claudia Schiffer and then wanting to have a relationship with her in every room of the house. It's just like funny to me how it was such a non unconventional relationship, and at the same time, it was cool how they were just able to bond and break rules, of conformity, if that makes sense.
Part of that too is that he didn't really know how to be a dad
No, yeah,
because like you said, this was his stepson, and so he's thrust into this position where now it's up to him to take care of his wife's kid
right.
now that he's passed away. And I think yeah, I can't speak for every stepfather, stepmother out there, but I imagine it's hard to bond with someone else's child. Now it happens. You hear about widows who have married men who become great stepfathers and wind
Yeah,
up adopting the kids because the
right,
kids fall in love with them too,
right.
and treat them like this is my dad.
Yeah,
And so I can't imagine being in that position where you know you don't have a choice but to adopt this child because
right.
now you're the only thing he's got
But
legally.
so interesting though, like because he's like you're thinking that the kid is really down and depressed. Not that he's not sad at the loss of his mother, but just everybody's looking in on him. He's talking about, just how depressed or sad he must be to find out that he's just in love. He's
Yeah,
in love with this girl at the school, right?
which
And
is so much worse but easier for Liam Neeson to deal with.
yeah. Oh, what an amazing story. So you had 10 different ones. That's a lot.
Yeah. And
That's a lot.
originally there were going to be 14. Like
Oh
I
wow.
can't imagine. Like it's hard enough just juggling 10, but I don't know. As a writer, gosh, I can't imagine trying to connect 14 different scenarios together. It's
Now
crazy.
my favorite, or Daffy, my favorite one is Colin Firth story. That's my favorite. And Daffy and I will still say to each other just in cases, we'll just it's the cutest storyline. How love transcends language, or it speaks not necessarily just in a verbal language together.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
those storylines.
That is my favorite scenario as well. And I love how she's speaking Portuguese, he's speaking English, but they're both saying the exact same things at the same time. It's like, oh my gosh, why can't you communicate?
The part in the pond when they fall in.
Yeah,
She,
yeah.
she says, "This better not be something my grandmother could have written." He says, "It's not bloody Shakespeare."
Oh man.
Oh, Billy
Yeah,
Mack
that
was
is
funny too. I didn't know Bill Nighy. And then of course I saw him in Underworld, but obviously a very different role. And then I've seen him in many other things since, but his role was hilarious. And their story, he's the funniest to me. Of all the people in the entire story, he's the funniest.
I think he's meant to be. I think that, he's this washed up rock star who, who winds up. I mean, it's like he you get to the point, he's at this point in his career where it's like, I don't care. I don't care what people think about me anymore. I'm
Yeah.
going to say what I'm going to say. If this song that we did makes it, great. If
Right,
not, whatever. It sounds ridiculous. I know it sounds ridiculous, but
right,
here we go.
right. I also appreciated how the end, how he goes and hangs out with his manager and he tells him that he loves him. And it's not, I don't think it's meant to be, uh, I think it's meant to be just true bonded friendship and all
Yeah.
that. But the point is it's just, it's beyond all that. Though his manager does make a crack. He's like, he says, 10 minutes with Elton John. And, you come here and say this. But I loved how their story was because, especially when he tells him that he loves him, and you could just see the manager is like, he's tearing up, just because it's been like a lifelong labor of being his manager and probably not an easy job to be a manager of
Right.
somebody like that.
And yeah, and again, this like the love that they share is he's probably the only true friend that
That he's ever
Billy's
had.
had throughout
Yeah.
it. Because I imagine when you're, a famous rock star, you've got people around you all the time, but it's got to be a very lonely existence.
Right.
And yeah, you've got people there, but what they're all just trying to get something from him.
Yeah.
And his manager's not trying to get, I mean, yes, that's his life. That's his, he makes a living getting whatever percentage off of his commission or whatever, but that is he's the only one who's there for him constantly
Right.
and is actually looking out for his well-being. So yeah, that's you come to the end of your career and you realize this is my family. This is the
Yeah.
one person who's been there for me the whole time. So yeah, that part is touching. But yeah, uh Billy Mack definitely the funniest, at least as far as like, when he's able to kind of get off the leash and say whatever he's
Yeah.
feeling. Uh
That's so. Yeah, my favorite one is when he's like, "Here's a message from your Uncle Bill. Kids, don't buy drugs. Become a pop star and they'll give them to you for free." And then they're like, "Oh, we're done." I think those are like two real
say that on live
British, they're
TV.
like two real British icons, those guys, right? Those hosts. Aren't they like,
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
pretty
know. I
sure they
thought it was
are.
like a British version of like TRL or something.
I think they are like, because I feel like I've seen them before. Colin, that was pretty funny. Just he's constantly saying that he's going to go to America because there's no like
Yeah,
girls that would like him here. And then he goes there
yeah.
and sure enough, he picks up on Richardson and the girl from 24 and oh my gosh, the girl from American Pie. It's just like the
Well,
funniest thing.
just too many beautiful women, and they're all attracted to
Oh, and
his
January
accent.
Jones, another
Yeah,
another person, January Jones, Mad Men, or X-Men. She's in this, and you can't forget about Of course, Keira Knightley. This is Pirates of the Caribbean. Keira Knightley with Andrew Lincoln, and then her husband that she ends up marrying. He's been in a lot of stuff too. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. Chiwetel Ejiofor.
That's probably why I can't remember his name.
Yeah, he was in he's been in the Marvel universe. He was in Doctor Strange.
Yes, that's where I'm thinking. Yeah.
He was in 12 Years a Slave. Great
Right.
movie. Very difficult to watch. But yeah, he's a great actor. But he doesn't have a very big role in this. He's kind of shoved off to the side. And that's okay. So that's one of the scenarios that really make me angry.
Yeah, let's
Is
talk about that.
Andrew Lincoln and Keira Knightley. She has married his best friend, Chiwetel Ejiofor's character, and Andrew Lincoln's character is secretly in love with her. Unrequited love has its place in society. That's fine, but when it comes out that what she finds out based on the wedding video that he took, and it's all just her.
Yes, sir.
It's like a stalker took this video. Okay,
Yeah, but he's also been treating her like garbage, because he's been trying to distance himself from her.
right.
That's probably the biggest switch for her that makes her go, aha, you know?
I don't think it's so much that he's been treating her like garbage, more than he is ignoring her. And like,
I don't know because
I
remember,
don't think
she's like,
he's not overtly mean to her. He tries to get out of her presence
yeah, I guess so.
as
When
quickly
he's
as
on the
possible.
phone with her and she says she's coming over, and he's like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's just like, I think he's pretty mean. I think he's pretty mean on purpose to try to shove her off, out of respect for his friend. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
I don't know. I don't think he's trying to be mean. Like I said, I think it's just more of a an indifference. He's trying to treat her with indifference and trying to, I don't know, ignore ignore that she's there so he can ignore his feelings for her,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. But then of course he does the iconic thing with the handwritten posters. And I mean, how lucky is he that she answered the door and not her husband? Turns on a boombox with Silent Night playing, tells her to tell him that it's Christmas carolers, and he confesses his love for her, and says that he knows he can't have her, and he'll move on eventually, but for now she is his everything. That's wrong on so many levels. But what makes it worse is that he leaves and she runs out of the house and kisses him. What is she doing? Is she giving him hope that this is going to work out someday? Because it's not.
Well,
Oh,
okay.
the whole
Well,
thing makes me so mad.
it was good when they did the Red Nose Day all those years later. Do you ever see that, the Red Nose Day, and Andrew Lincoln comes back and I think his wife is with him,
Yeah.
and he's got the beard and she's like, don't like the beard, and it's cute. It's a cute little, but I get you. I know. It's hard because it puts you in a conflicting situation because you want them to be together and you shouldn't want them to be together because she's
I
married.
want them to be together. I want her to be with her husband that she, you know, took a vow to and said she was going to spend the rest of her life with. I don't want him coming in here and mucking things up for his best friend. That's not a friend.
Yeah, that's not the way to go. Not the way. I hear you.
If I was the husband and I found out about this, punch to the face.
I thought she was the most gorgeous girl in the whole world back then. Just I remember, and this is one of those things where Andrew Lincoln, he doesn't, you don't know who he is. He's just like a guy. You know what I mean? Not the way that Daffy would feel about seeing somebody like, I don't know, Michael Bublé or somebody around. But like, I remember just thinking, oh man, what a beautiful storyline. She's gorgeous. But you're right. As you go farther, you think about it, you're just like, that's probably not healthy. What's the other one? Is the Alan Rickman storyline?
Absolutely. All
Yeah.
right. I don't get it. I don't understand it at all. All right. Now, there's a part of me that does. Like, so I get you're in a marriage that to you is boring at this point in your life, your life with your wife and your kids, you consider it boring. It's not what you expected it to be 25 years later, or whatever, however long you've been married. Okay, I get that. And so you start thinking of other things. But here's the thing: his secretary doesn't hold a candle to Emma Thompson. I don't understand. Like, tell me I'm wrong here, okay? She is not an attractive woman. Am I wrong about that?
Well,
Is it just
no,
that
I mean
she's
you're
slutty?
right, but you have to the other side of it too is there's two elements there. One, she is Emma Thompson is not sexualized, right? She's not like, she's you married a long time. She's mom, she's wife, that's comfortable, it's nice, it's all that. But then you have this girl in the office there that's, very much showing herself, and all that, not appropriately. But she also is showing an undivided intentional interest in him. And I think that's one of the things that very much is dangerous and is the danger zone, for anybody who's been married for a long time, is you got to not allow yourself to be in those kind of scenarios. And she was like in his face right there. And that there's like moments where he could have shut that down and not let it progress, but like anybody who falls and goes that way, they just allow and tolerate these little moments and they germinate into bigger moments. And it could have stopped at the beginning. The very first time she made the advance, you're out of here, you know? So it's not, I don't think it's necessarily about beauty as much as it was intention and, just
Oh, it's just because she's a slut. That's it.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Wow. I'm sorry, but the attractiveness thing that would play a big role for me. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you showed me a picture of Emma Thompson without makeup and this slut done up the way that she is in the movie, I'm picking Emma Thompson every time.
I can't get
Sorry.
past the fact that she's an amazing actress too. But you look at her as Professor Trelawney, and she doesn't necessarily look like the Emma Thompson that you
Why?
fall in love with. Just
Because
saying.
then her hair is a rat's nest and she's wearing Coke bottle glasses. I mean, that's not attractive. But I still wouldn't pick that stupid slut over her.
No, 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 that's true. That's
It really
true.
makes me mad. And the fact that it's Alan Rickman, man, I just want to throw him off the top of Nakatomi Tower again.
Again, again, Alan Rickman. Oh, I know. Well, and it's the thing too is he's got this way to be just like it's not a big deal to him, but he just keeps like progressing. It's so frustrating. She even tells him, because you can tell you've been married a long time. They're they're close to each other. They have a bond together. They have a life together, maybe cohabitating, but still she recognizes, be careful there. You know, she's very pretty. He's like, oh, is she? He's like, she is. She knows him, not that he would do that, but that's a danger.
She's not very pretty, by the way.
No,
I will argue that to the grave.
poor actress.
And when she confronts him about it, when it comes out, he doesn't even apologize. He says, "I'm a fool," and that's it. He doesn't really
Well,
apologize
I
to
think that's kind of an apology. He's like, I'm a classic
her. Not.
fool. Okay.
He's just telling her that he's an idiot and he got caught.
First of all, the question I have is, did he or did he not? Did he or did he not sleep with her?
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did either, but I think that the the ramification. So their marriage is completely wrecked because he gave a necklace,
Yeah.
and it's like it's arguable, right? It's like the reaction that's being had here is valid because as the omniscient viewer that that's where he was going. You see it, But if you weren't an omniscient viewer and you're in the circumstance, it's like he gave a nice necklace, and he shouldn't have done that. That was inappropriate.
The
But
dominoes were falling and he got caught, and
yeah,
so that stopped it.
but I just think that like the messaging and the feel and vibe of it is cheated as if he had fully or treated as if he had fully cheated, all the
And
way. And maybe that's
maybe
appropriate, but I'm just saying,
maybe there is something to that. Maybe it's left to our interpretation as to whether he had the affair or not.
Right.
Because I mean, obviously we're bouncing between 10 different storylines here, and
And we never see him give it to her, so we don't know how that
right,
exchange happened, but it does make you wonder.
yeah.
Oh,
We're out of time, but man, we could talk about this movie forever, I think. Um, so it is just one of those movies that has, after 20 years, really has an incredible legacy to it. And like you said, it's one that you watch every year with your wife. I watch every year with a pint of Ben and Jerry's, and it's it's a great blend of humor and romance and the holiday spirit. Uh, you have anything to say before we sign off on there? I mean, what else is there to say, man?
if you really love Christmas, let it snow. Just saying. Christmas is all around, baby. That's one of our Christmas songs. We sing that, we have it playing. The Mariah Carey, we have that
Oh my
playing.
gosh.
Even
Oh no,
God
I
Only
can't do that
Knows
one.
by the Beach Boys is a Christmas song to us now
Yeah, yeah, now I
because,
can see that a Christmas
you
song.
know, so if you haven't watched it, watch it. It's a great movie. Obviously, it's not for the kids, but it is it's a really endearing, beautiful story.
Yeah, yeah, it's really good. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever we're posting something new. So until next time, have a great whatever it is, wherever you are.
Merry Christmas.